Hey, what is up guys? RITDE here coming to you guys today with another video. And graphics cards throughout the last years have been gradually increasing in their performance of whether or not you get more performance with lower wattage used, like less thermal thresholds and stuff like that, so more efficiency. And at the same time, we've also been trying to gradually get down, well, Nvidia and AMD have been trying to gradually get down to lower processing nanometers and different FinFET designs and stuff like that, as well as trying to implement the new Micron technologies in their new memory VRAM, if you will, on their graphics cards. So today, we had a great announcement. Nvidia just unveiled their order of 10 graphics card series, and they're talking about the 1000 series graphics cards with 10 in front of the number of their normal nomenclature. So like 1080s, 1070s, 1060s, 1050s. I'm guessing we may even have a Titan on this series as well, part of the 1000 series, and as well as their flagship mainstream card, the 1080 Ti, which will be coming later on, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But today we're going to be talking about the 1080 here that they just announced. I'm looking at the two pages here that I have up from Nvidia's websites here. This is directly, go to nvidia.com, click on the new 1080 graphics cards. It's sitting in their desktop processors right above the 980 Ti. Click on that 1080, it'll have new next to it, and then it'll bring you to this page here, and we can go over some of the specs here. So I obviously hit notify me. Now there's two cards here we're going to be taking a look at. There's the 1080 standard edition that costs $600, $599 USD. And then we have the Founders Edition 1080, which comes only from the folks over at Nvidia, so you can only buy it from their website. Now, this card apparently has better craftsmanship, and at the same time, they're saying that it's a binned chip, so you can actually get a better overclocking chip, maybe with the higher ASIC quality or something like that. So that's led to be seen, and that one sells for $700. Now, you can only get that card from Nvidia's website themselves, and it'll come in that really nice box, just like the Titan X did in one of my future videos, or my previous videos. It'll come in that really nice box, and it'll be like all black and green and stuff like that for their new graphics card. And so talking about some of the specs here, performance-wise, it's apparently saying that in VR, it's over 2% faster performance and relative performance to a 980. Remember, this is 980 and a 1080. We're not comparing a 1080 to a 980 Ti or a Titan X, even though they are also saying, because of these charts here, it's saying that it's relatively 1.5 times faster than a Titan X or a 980 Ti. They're saying that their 970 is either exactly the same or maybe like 1.1, 1.2% faster than their Titan X. And that's for $400, $380. And they have a Founders Edition, I think it's $440 or something like that. But anyway, so the new design that they're looking at here is they're looking at this. So they're going with only an 8-pin connector, which is awesome. The TDP of this card is 180 watts. Now, there's some new technology they're talking about here. We're going to skip down here to this new SLI technology, so these new bridges here. Now, I've done a little research here. This bridge here is actually the cards sandwiched together, like no slot in between, sandwiched together, two graphics cards SLI bridge. The one next to it, see, this one is just like this here. They're sandwiched right next to each other. This one here in the middle is with graphics card here, so there's two slots. So let's say this is one slot, this is two slots. They have one slot in between, and then the graphics card's down there. So one slot in between is the middle one. We gotta make sure you get your spacing correct. And then this one here, as far as what I've seen, is where you have a 2-slot in between. So like you could put up 3 cards, but no slot in between. Now we're gonna take a look at the graph here, give you a little better visualization. So here's the small bridge, no slots in between. Here's one slot in between with 3 slots. They're counting how many slots the actual bridge covers. I got an invite. Let me just decline that. How many slots it actually covers, and then the 4-slot one is the one that you're going to want to get if you have 2 slots in between, 2 graphics cards. And at the same time, other YouTubers have done some research and asked Nvidia themselves, who are at the actual press event, asking if it's 3-way and 4-way SLI capable. I know for sure it's going to be 3-way. Folks like Jay's 2 cents, I watched his vlog video that he did, and in the end, he does ask about the 3-way SLI because he wants to put 3 1080s in his Skunkworks build. So I'm not referencing his stuff here. I'm just saying that the information comes from people who actually know what they're talking about, who are actually at this event, such as Jay himself. And he's the best person to ask because he has it in his rig right now with 3 Titan X's. So he's going to know they're going to come out with a bridge that's like this, that'll have another bracket in the middle so you can do three-way SLI. Now the question that I have, and if anybody has any of this information, leave it down below, is I want to know if you can still use your current SLI bridges. If the new technology only exists in the SLI bridge itself, the new ones, or if it's within the fingers of the actual PCB on the card. So that's enough about SLI. So now we're going to go over to design again, and they're going to look at that, and their new shroud is pretty nice. So I'm just going to scroll up. We got to go here. So okay, if you click on that, so that's the way the new design looks. They got all these angles and curves and stuff like that. Looks like a really fancy sports car, if I don't say so myself. Now, the thing that I don't understand is whether or not with the Founders Edition and the Standard Edition, if you actually get this shroud, I know the fin design underneath and the vapor chamber could possibly be different, as well as the bin chip, so you're paying more for that. Now, personally, I'm going to be taking off these coolers and putting on custom water blocks, as you all know. I'm going to tease a new build. I'm working on a new computer with all new stuff. I'm planning on putting the new Intel Broadwell E chipset in it. If that's not good, then I'm definitely going to go with the Haswell E. So I'm going to go X99 platform no matter what. But that's for a later video. We're going to talk about these cards here. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be planning for that build here at the end. But basically, this is the new shroud. I don't know if you get this shroud with the Standard Edition or the new one, the new craftsmanship one. So we'll see. It's led to be seen. And again, these benchmarks here, make sure you look at that so you can tell. So here's a nice little gallery. So that's the way it looks up close. You got the new, see the fingers look exactly the same. And from what I can tell in every card that I've seen in hand of someone holding it, either Jensen himself or someone else looking at it in that case at the event, it had a back plate on it. I saw a black back plate on the card, so that's kind of cool. They all ship with that, but again, I'll be ripping that off anyway. So this is the new design. That's the way it looks. All these angles and curves. It looks really fancy, pretty nice. So the power here, we have Pascal, obviously. We have 8 gigabytes of G5X, also known as GDDR5X memory instead of GDDR5. Its memory speed is at 10 gigabytes instead of 7 compared to the 980 on its 4 gigs of GDDR5. And the boost clock is relatively 1.4 times faster than what the original one was at the 980. And the way they put this in perspective is they do 1 relative times 1.4 relative. So that's this boost clock times that, and you're getting that much more performance in the boost clock. So the standard boost clock on these cards is 1,733 megahertz. I believe the base clock, all right, let's take a look at the full specs here. Might as well just run it down. So we got 2,560 CUDA cores. We got 1,607 megahertz base clock. We have 1,733 boost clock. The memory speed is 10 gigs, as I said. 8 gigs of GDDR5X, also known as GX5. It has a 256-bit memory bus. 320 gigs per second transfer rates. Multi-projection is that new technology they're coming out with, which we'll get to later. Is to make it where if you have multiple displays spanned and you try to scoot them in a little bit so you can actually see them in your peripheral vision instead of just a flat layer of panels, that it actually spreads the image out so it actually extends in like you're still like this instead of having it curved in and it looks all bowed and stuff. So that's new. VR technology, obviously. Ansel's new technology they came out with. The new SLI bridge is called SLI HB bridge. High bandwidth is what I'm guessing. G-Sync, obviously. Got all this stuff. Has GPU Boost 3.0. API is feature, obviously DirectX 12, Vulkan, yes, OpenGL. It's still using the same PCIe Gen 3, which is good. Maximum resolution, this is ridiculous, 7,680 by 4,320 at 60 hertz. That's ridiculous. We have some new connectors here. So we have DisplayPort 1.4. It has 3 of those. It has this new HDMI 2.0B connector and dual link DVI. Multi-monitor support, of course. The cool thing is the length and the height of the graphics card is exactly the same. Still 2 slots, still 10.5 inches long. It's all good. Maximum TDP here is 180 watts. Like I said, it only takes one 8-pin connector, and it can go up to 94 degrees Celsius. Apparently with the new stock cooler they have, they're running a game at the event at 2,133 megahertz. At 60 hertz, it is reaching only 67 degrees Celsius. So that's kind of crazy. So you're required to get a 500 watt power supply, just one 8-pin connector. Okay, so let's move on down to the new Nvidia technology, which we already talked about. And that's basically it, guys. This has just been the overview of the new Nvidia 1080 graphics card from the folks over at Nvidia. This is part of their new GeForce GTX series. I'm right in the eye. I'll be getting out of here. We're going to tease some stuff here now. First thing, I'm confirming 3 1080 graphics cards in my new computer. The new computer is involving, like I said, X99 is going to have 3 1080s in it, full covered. We got 3 different radiators. 2 of them are 280 millimeters or 480 millimeters. So I have 2 480 millimeter radiators, that's quad 120s, and 1 240 millimeter radiator. Just to give you a scale, this is going in a 900D. Okay. 1500 power supply. We're going all out. This new build is going to consist of clear tubing. It's going to be full custom water cooled. I got some nice color configurations going with a red and silver chrome theme. It's like chrome if you're looking at the fittings, but then it's silver if you're looking at the fabric that's going to be on the cables. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Look forward to that video. I'm right in the eye, and I'll see you guys next time.